a place where we shape the next generation, place where we discuss issues like relationships, career and business advice, education and religious matters, and much, much more. So sit back, watch, and be informed. Your host is Laban Bithi.
Our guests are in studio already. They are popular faces, of course. They've been here before, and I would request them to introduce themselves from the far left.
Good evening, viewers. I am Margaret Muthoni.
Thank you, Margaret, for finding time.
Good evening, viewers. This is Isaac Kitana, and it's always a pleasure to be here, just to impact a generation.
All right, and kicking off this show, Isaac, can you define what peer influence is?
Peer influence. We just first split the word into two.
Mm-hmm.
It's two words that are joined.
Mm-hmm.
First, there is peer.
Yeah.
That means there is a level. These are people of a certain age.
Yeah.
Similar age, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're in the same level,
Mm-hmm.
probably financially or status.
Yeah.
There is something they share in common.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have the word peer.
Yeah.
And we are bringing in the influence.
Yeah.
It means now they are influencing one another, or they are causing one another to behave in a certain way.
Yeah.
Just because they belong in the same class,
Mm-hmm.
they belong in the same status.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we talk of peer influence.
Yeah.
That you are causing somebody to behave in a certain manner because they belong in that class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, Mrs. Margaret, there is the influence part, and there is also another similar word, which is, of course, a common word, peer pressure. Now, what is the difference? There is peer influence and this peer pressure. How do these two words kind of relate?
Okay. If we look at the word pressure,
Mm-hmm.
pressure is force.
Mm-hmm.
From science,
Yeah.
pressure is force.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about peer, that is people of the same age, the same group, having same, maybe same group, same
Mm-hmm.
age. Mm-hmm. And when we are talking about peer pressure, we are talking about a force
Mm-hmm.
to the members
Mm-hmm.
or to the individuals in the group to
Yeah.
behave in a certain way, a force,
Yeah.
which may be obvious or may be hidden.
Mm-hmm. And so I know that when we talk about peer, we don't really talk about just the youth. Mm-hmm. Peer pressure can be among, elderly people, it can be among women, it can be among children. And now I want to ask this question specifically to you. Is there a way peer pressure and peer influence can affect your career?
Yes, it can, and it does.
Yeah.
Because some of us we are where we are because we saw somebody behaving in a certain way or doing something
Yeah.
in a particular manner that we got interested in, and we just inquired, how do we get there? And eventually we just found our way, and eventually we found ourselves doing what they are doing or something similar to that. And it's happening. That's why I say it can, and it is happening. Yeah, it influences people how to in their their careers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, how do you think it affects? Like, let's say I see somebody TikToking and I choose to TikTok. I may not really like to TikTok, yeah? But because I saw Margaret, who is my age when TikToking, sorry, I decided to TikTok. Is that pressure? Is it influence?
The two words are used interchangeably.
Yeah.
But as she said, pressure is used mostly on the negative.
The negative.
Influence is used mostly on the positive, but it can also be negative at the same time. But the difference comes in the motive. The motive. Why am I doing this? If you sit down and just analyze, why am I following you in what you're doing?
Yeah.
It probably is to benefit me and to benefit other people. Then I call that an influence.
Yeah.
But if it's now for your some personal little gain, and then I call it pressure.
Yeah.
And again, it's also pressure depending on the supportive environment. Because probably how you got there, it's a business probably you're doing, or you're doing something like you're saying TikToking. You have all the facilities and the environment favors you to do that. Probably it needs talent. I don't have that talent to do that. So for me to do that, and I'm pushing myself to do that, it becomes a pressure because it's not, then the environment is not supporting me to be like you.
Yeah.
But I'm pushing myself because of that aspect of I want to be like you.
Yeah.
And it becomes a pressure because I don't have the muscles to support that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a pressure.
And so, Madam Margaret, thanks to you, you're here. You are a teacher. You are a lecturer. You've dealt with a lot of people who are peers in one way or the other, and you've seen peers influencing one another. And I know that you can even give an example of today's world where people look at their peers and they want to be like them. Now, and I know you're a mother as well, right?
Yes, I am.
Now, how do these things affect this generation, or how do these things affect these people that are in this column?
Well, I will say that peer pressure or peer influence, it affects individuals who are not sure of what they want,
Yeah.
how they want to get it. And we find it in every age, the youth, the teens, and even us grown-ups. When we don't know what we want, and we have not set timelines, and we have not looked at what we are able to do, and that is our strength, then we become like a boat tossed by the sea. So when I see Isaac driving, I'm like, wow, I would want to drive. And instead of focus, because I have nothing I'm focusing on, now I start following Isaac. What did he do? Maybe he's doing bitcoins.
Yeah.
Or he's
A common thing today.
or he's a entrepreneur. I start following that because I did not know what I wanted.
And sometimes you even do what Isaac does. Isaac does it out of passion. You don't even you're not even passionate about it, and you find yourself doing it. And so Margaret has talked about something very important, that is setting timelines. Now, for somebody who is affected by these, like I have a problem of following people without really knowing what do I really want. You know, how do somebody set timelines for himself?
I don't think it's really timeline. As she said, it's like just having people who don't understand who they are. And if you don't understand who you are, you'd want to become anything.
Yeah.
Anything that looks like it's attractive or it's beautiful for you, then you'd want to become that thing.
Yeah.
So we want to have people who understand who they are. And if you understand who you are, then you will have a firm stand. That you'll not be carried away by anything that comes, any business that looks lucrative, or any idea that looks good. You will have a stand that this is who I am, this is what I want to pursue. Sometimes you may see, probably when we're talking about peer, probably went to school with my friends who we are in the same age. and they are doing well probably in their line, probably business or career-wise.
Yeah, you wonder where the rain is beating you
No, but you see, I'm pursuing something. If I understand what I'm pursuing, sometimes it takes long.
Yeah.
But if I truly believe in that idea or that purpose, the time may not be the same. Yours, we may like, we have graduated the same year, and within 2 years you build a house, you have a car, you have whatever, probably what we call prosperity, or you've succeeded in life.
Sure.
But for me, I'm still struggling with 1, 2, 3 issues, but I'm within my line.
Yeah.
I'm still pursuing something passionately. I believe this thing in.
Wait. How do you know? You know, there's somebody that said there is people confuse between patience and wasting time. How do you know that you are within your line? You know.
Yeah, I think knowing that you're within your line, it's good to do a self-analysis. Sometimes, yes, you might be heading in the right direction, or like you're pursuing the right purpose, but in the wrong direction. You go into a right place or right destination, but you took a long way. So at that time, you just need to do a regular self-analysis, because you believe in your vision, you believe in your purpose. You need to regularly sit and be able to analyze, am I still in the right direction? Am I still pursuing that goal that I've always wanted to pursue? So with that regular analysis, you'll be able to understand, where am I doing? Probably you're spending more time on something else, or you are wasting resources on something else. But if you believe in that career, and it's taking probably long, it's probably there is something that you're not doing right. And that's why I'm talking of regular self-analysis, where you'll be able to identify where is the problem. And if you find out that I'm doing it the right way, then it's a matter of patience.
Okay, and now, Miss Margaret, you know, we are living in a generation where pressure comes from either sides. Like, for example, a young person like me, when my mother or my parents see a person that I went with, you know, in school at the same time, they would be like, why is it that Brian is not earning while person X is earning? You know, this pressure is coming from everywhere. And some people argue that it gives you a power to, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You know, try to get it faster. You know, can we see it from the positive perspective?
Okay. Maybe we can. Let me first of all go back to what Isaac was talking about. You know, when we're talking about timelines, as he was saying, an individual should know what they want to do long term, maybe in the next 5 years, what they would want to achieve, maybe the next 7 years, what they want to achieve. In fact, I normally tell young people, decide what you want to achieve in the next 5 years, and then from there you plan how you are going to achieve it. You come up with short-term plans how you're going to achieve it. So that way, that way, and then the goals, as we call them, they should be realistic. You must have the ability to achieve them. Ability in terms of aptitudes, finances, and time. So that way, an individual is able to be focused, whether in college or outside college, because they know in about 5 years' time, I want to do this, and this is what I am doing towards that. However, there are challenges that come in and they delay our goal such that it is delayed. It is delayed. Sometimes things happen, but that the individual should continue being focused. Because of that, peer influence, negative peer pressure or peer influence may not have a place in their lives, because they know what they want. But if they find people who are influencing them positively towards achieving their goal, they are good to go with such. Yes.
And you want to add something?
Yeah.
Okay, I always like giving real life examples. You're a lecturer. Somebody who looks at you, I would say Miss Margaret is successful. you know. Did you have goals in life? How did it work for you? Like, did you say in 5 years I want to be a lecturer, in 10 years I want to have 3 kids? Is it working for you?
Now, let me go back to the fact that by the time we were doing campus, the issue of teaching management, strategic management was not anywhere during our time.
Yeah.
You do just maths. If you're doing maths, engineering, nursing, it's only the BCom guys who are exposed to management, the BCom people.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, and then even in schools, goal setting was not taught. We were just taught the normal subjects. So I graduated. Let me go back. Form 6, I wanted to be an engineer from Form 4. Now, when I look at being focused, if I knew that I would have become an engineer, because the challenge was I didn't know whether there are colleges or there are other avenues I can pursue to become an engineer. I only knew about university. So I just went to university to do physics. But if I had known about searching for information to help you realize your goal and your vision, I would have done that, and probably I would have known that I can go to a technical college that way and I become an engineer. So fast foot forward, I'm at the university. I do a degree and then I come out. No, I don't know about planning. I don't know about setting goals. I don't know what I want. So me, I'm just hustling, looking for a job. For what? I have nothing.
Yeah.
But with time, by the grace of God, I have come to learn that each person, young people and old, we need to be strategic. We need to be strategic. And when we are strategic, when challenges come, we are able to stay on course. Yeah. I wasn't like that. When I want to thank God, I did strategic management somewhere. And that time it was corporate, yeah?
Yeah.
But now, when I look at an individual, it is the same thing.
Yeah.
For an individual to be successful and to achieve anything, we must have goals, our personal goals, and then we must work towards them, and we must be disciplined in terms of spending resources, time and money, in terms of the people we know with. Yeah, I wasn't like this, so I like telling young people, don't make the mistakes we did in our time.
And just to highlight one or two, what are these mistakes that you did in your time?
In my time, say just, okay, I got the first job with a company, and I think it was all about money. Then I wanted to do ICT, computer studies.
Why?
You know, it's related to engineering. And a few challenges I never pursued. I was transferred to Mombasa. There was no college I could do the diploma, and I never looked hard. And so there was no goal. I think I was just surviving. I had not set, it was not something I had determined that I must get a diploma and then a degree. At that time, a diploma was good to go. I had not set that. And I think I was just moving. Yeah.
And I understand Isaac and Margaret are 2 different generations. You know, so I think this is a perfect match. Isaac, did you have goals before you stepped into your career life?
Of course.
Were you influenced by anything?
I can't say I was really influenced, but I had a goal. What I want to do and what I want to become, and I'm doing something related to that.
Yeah.
But as Margaret is saying, there's something that I always like saying. When we were young, all of us were asked this question: what do you want to become when you grow? And everybody would say, I want to become this doctor, pilot,
engineer and lawyer.
Engineer and everything.
Sure.
Everybody has that. Even today, even people at 20s, what do you want to become when you, in the next 5 years? And in fact, that's a question that you always ask when you go for an interview. And but we know what you want to become in the next 5 years or 10 years. But very few of us know what they want to do in the next 1 week. What you want to do within 1 month, or within 6 months, or 3 months. And that boils down now to managing your today. Because at time you waste today and expect the 5 years will just happen overnight and become what you wanted to become. But we are wasting today, knowing that today is important to be making you who you will become in the next 5 years. So how am I managing my today or now? How am I managing my time today? So I think this is something we need to really understand. If I want to become a doctor, what am I doing today to become that doctor I want to become in the next 5 years? And that is something that I felt, for me, yes, I wanted to become an accountant. But I wasted a lot of time in between to become what I wanted. And at the time you'll find, yes, you might become, but you may become too late, or you may become having gotten a very tedious process, a long process. But if you understand how to manage your today, becoming the next 5 years becomes easy.
And now, what I want to understand is, what is this thing that influenced you to make you feel like you want to be an accountant?
I think
Money?
it's not really money, but you see, there's these times when, in fact, you see, like the question that I was just talked about, a question where you want to become a doctor. Some of us don't know even what doctors do.
Yeah, sure.
It's just like that beautiful name and that prestige that there is. How do I call it? Like there is that honor that comes with that name, that glory with that name. Being a doctor, everybody respects you in the society. Being a lawyer, so for me, being an accountant looked like it's something that I did not know what they were doing, but I just wanted that name. But as I moved along the path, I understood what it takes to become an accountant and what they do.
I stick with you, Isaac. Now, I said you and Margaret are two different generations, and as much as we may beat around the bush about this, most people today are influenced into their careers because of money,
Of
right?
course.
Now, you find that there's a university student or somebody who looks at a person who does Bitcoin. You know, I may not be interested in knowing, or as in how the business operates, but because I see them making a lot of money from it,
Of course.
you know, I decide to join and, you know, start my business as well and try to see if it will be running. And in this society where we have the money pressure, of course, money is a requirement in this society,
of course.
in this generation. That is, how do you see this? It is a good thing. Is it a good thing to have such kind of influence?
It is good, and at the same time, it's not good. In that, first, money is always one of the greatest motivators why we work. We go to work. At the end of the day, we want to have something that can help us manage our life. So money is a good motivator and influencer at the same time. So it's a good thing that it makes you sometimes, because if I know by you earning whatever you earn, you had to put some effort, then I also have to put some effort in my work. So at the end of the day, in as much as my goal is to get money, but I'm also making my work better. I'm pushing myself beyond, like I want to make sure that this week I am doing the best or the most production. So as I do the production in the greater, bigger number, I'm also getting money at the end in return. So it's a good push at the same time. But I say it's again on the negative, where you're being pushed to go beyond yourself or beyond your muscles, what you can handle. So you find yourself doing stuff that are not supposed, like engaging in some activities that probably should not be engaged in.
And I'll get back to you, Madam Miss Margaret. There is an example I want to use. Like today, everybody wants the title Msanii. Like I'm a musician, you know. If you walk all over Mombasa, everybody who do not have a job will tell you I'm a Msanii, you know. I'm a musician, and you are handling a very critical cause. You know, you're the other time when we were having the conversation about careers and causes, we had this conversation of conventional and non-conventional courses. Now, how do these influence where everybody wants to do the non-conventional courses affect the conventional courses that you people handle? Like you said, you handle mathematics and physics, and everybody today is running from mathematics and physics, rather the technical world, to go to, you know, doing their own things. Do you think this thing is affecting this generation positively or negatively?
I think it has always been the case in every generation. People go for what is making money. In every generation. But what I've realized that the people who move in fast are the only ones who enjoy the first mover advantage. Two, those people who are, let's say, enabled, they have the ability, the skills, they have the passion. They are the ones who are going to survive.
Yeah.
Because somebody else who is not gifted, qualified, and has the ability, they will just do something, yeah, but it will not stand out, and they'll have wasted time. I would advise my generation, as the younger generation, not to avoid the long-term course, the courses that take long, and go for short courses because those ones are not paying.
Yeah.
It's just I would say it's an investment. I would just say it's an investment, and couple up maybe with those non-conventional thing, because it's for making money at the end of the day, right? But let not people move because everybody is moving that way. Then what will happen? All of us will be in the field, and the market will be flooded, and there will be no money. I would advise people to stick to their aim.
There is an example I want to give. You realize that, for example, do you think this kills the ability of this generation to think deeper? There's a thing that people say, you may not know that you know something until you try. You know, if I believe that I can't handle a mathematic, if I don't have passion for mathematics, of course I may not know that I know how to handle mathematics. Rather, I can enjoy. You know, do you think this thing is killing the ability of this generation to think deeper? Like, we want to go for easy things. So long as I can do some rhyming words, I prefer rapping than looking inside of how I can handle a computer science or do an AI, something of sorts.
Well, I'll still say that it would be better for the young people to go for. I feel they're a bit shallow. This like music.
Yeah.
Because you sing one or two or three, and then you are done, and then you forfeited a course that could have been a long-term investment. What I would advise is that they do the two of them. We have people like, I've forgotten their names. They are very key TV people, yeah? And they have degrees. So they can't miss anything. You look for them in the profession, which they undertook for maybe 3 years, and you'll find them there. In fact, they become better managers of their own brands, yeah? Because they have some degree or diploma or whatever. Unlike somebody who just have the non-conventional skill, yeah, they may be limited. So I would advise that people go for both.
Isaac, I know that you're practicing accounting. What is your thought on this?
My thought on
let's say, do you think we are limiting ourselves from thinking deep?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know to what extent you're talking when you talk of Msanii.
Okay, I'll give you a better example. You realize that today when okay, I don't know if this is going to be a good example, but when the whites come, you'll find that our people are going to dance for them, you know, while they are bringing the mind, you understand, all the technical stuff they do for us. All the roads are being done by Chinese engineers, while Africans are, when they come, what we do is we are going to impress them. Do you think this thing is killing our thinking ability? How are you seeing this generation in some years to come?
I think we need also to widen the scope, or because I think that it's more of art, and the art is something that is within us. So me realizing, if I can see, I would advise go and see. In as much as you're doing studies, but you know this is my line, pursue that. My key reference in every place I go, it's always the Bible. The Bible asks, I think it's in Proverbs, says, have you seen a man who is skillful? He will not stand before mere men, but he will stand before kings.
Yeah.
So what is within yourself and you understand it, pursue it. If it's singing, go for it. If it's dancing, and there are people who are making money out of that, and because it's a unique thing, you cannot find it with anybody else. And people are doing art, just drawing. And you cannot tell me to go now to study something else, while I know this is my place.
Yeah.
So if I begin to do your job, gives you money at the end of the day. So for me, if anybody can identify their line, let them pursue that. In as much as, yes, we need education, because my first education opens up our mind to so many opportunities. And so it's good. Know your line, then again, you can also balance with education, just to help you probably to know some of the skills and soft skills, just communication and so many other things that you need in life. Yeah.
But Isaac, when everybody goes to be Amsani,
Not everybody.
who will do the AIs for us? I mean, okay, what should be the motivation? Should it be money, job, and identity, or it should be what are you giving back to the society?
No, I don't think whether everybody is going that line. That's why I say knowing your line. You're not going there because of probably of you don't have a job, so you're trying to the bit of peer pressure that you're bringing up there.
Yeah.
But you know this is my line. There are people who are very sharp intellectually, so you not advise that person to go to an art career path. But you'd advise that person to pursue probably engineering, doctor, and whatever such. And they are doing that.
Yeah.
But and we are also having people, a group of people who are doing the art, and they are doing it so well. So you just identify your line and go with that. Yeah.
Margaret, I don't know your thoughts on this, but no, Isaac, were you good in mathematics in primary school?
I can say I was very good, but I was,
All right.
let's say, average.
Were you good in mathematics in high school?
Average. Yeah.
If it was that your teachers did not push you to do mathematics, do you think you could have been practicing finance today?
Not really.
And if at all your teachers left you to do what you want, I'm sure you could have been trying to, fumble with some football in the village, or maybe trying to be Amsani, trying to do the guitar. Okay, I want to think in this direction. If at all you are not pushed, like there was not that mkazo, like you have to do this thing, Isaac. Do you think you could have been where you are?
I don't think.
Just a one-word answer.
It's a one, but it needs some explanation. If I give one word answer,
it's fine.
It may not be complete. I think our education system a bit, it has some, I can say, some gaps where you'll realize who you want to become too late, almost too late. But there is the bit of CBC that is trying to bridge that gap, where we are able to identify talents and skills, the strength of a child, and we are able to create an environment that supports that child's line. And by the time it gets to 15, 20 years, they have already gotten deep into that line.
Yeah.
And you are able to see, like, this is for sure, this child is doing well in this line. But for us, the education system was not offering such opportunity. So we had just to learn everything to Form 4, and then from Form 4, that's when we begin to decide, am I going to become a teacher, a doctor? So that is the time we begin to analyze. In fact, sometimes it's according to our grade, not because of what you want, but because I've gotten an A. Do I want to I can become a teacher, I can become a pilot. So you are choosing at that age. Of which for me, I feel it's a bit too late. But because we have found ourselves in such, then we'll have to go that way. But if I could have identified my line, I do sing. And I began to sing.
I know.
Yeah, I began to sing after Form 4. But I wish somebody would have introduced me to music at probably 5 years. I could be pursuing music probably in higher levels than I am right now. But because I came in too late, I don't want to blame the system. But I feel if I could have known that line earlier, then I probably could be at a higher level, of which I'm saying it's an error probably we have in the system. And the CBC is trying to address that, I believe so.
And so what comes clearly is that there are so many people who do not realize who they are at an early age. And so, Ms. Margaret, I want to ask you this question. Like, now, should we look for a way of pushing people to know who they are at an early age? How can we solve this problem?
It's not really pushing, it's creating an environment.
And now, how do we create it?
Like the government is attempting, is doing that through the CBC and parents, and parents also should play a big role in doing that. Because only that way, we cannot push, we cannot force, it's just to make people aware. The CBC is addressing that, and parents should be. Like I have a son, I have a daughter, she seems to know what she wants. And I'm like, this girl is so vocal, she's so inquisitive. She says, I want to be a doctor. No, me, I don't want to be I want to be a doctor. And but the brother is quiet. And now that I know that it's important to know a child's gifts and abilities, I'm prodding him and I'm asking, Israel, what do you want to become? Okay, he's been talking of an engineer, but he told me I'm not sure. But and I decided to discern what he has, because I know he's gifted. So it's a responsibility of the parents. My mom was not there to do that, because that generation only believed in teachers doing that. But now our generation, I think we are more informed.
All right, and so before we give our parting shot for this show, we've talked of believing in yourself. You're doing self-analysis to prevent this pressure. Now, what is your word to this generation where everybody want to be a TikToker, everybody want to be Msanii? Okay, one, there is what we do to get quick money. If Msanii will give us quick money for now, it's good to go. But then we should focus on the long-term professions, and that means determining what we want to do. We should be backed by who we are. Should be backed by who we are. We need to know ourselves more than others. As he was talking about doing a self-analysis, and I'm sure that way, after doing a self-analysis, then the individual decides what to do. And then we were talking about setting goals. Goals are long-term objectives that are achievable. Then to determine on a short-term basis what I should realize, what I should achieve, and plan within that. That way he will be safe, or she will be safe from negative influence, whether pressure or negative influence. They will be focused. They will not be intimidated. They will be so sure about themselves. They will be having high self-esteem, because they know what they want. They are doing it, what they are doing now, and what they will be doing tomorrow. They are not bothered by what others are doing. There's no competition with others. They are competing with themselves and the time they have set for themselves. And so, Isaac, there is somebody who is watching this show, a student, a parent who maybe is looking at his peer, maybe my classmate in class 6, or like on okay, I'll talk on my behalf. You see your classmates who went to Navy are earning a lot of money, and here you are, you ask yourself, where's the rain beating me from? Now talk to us. What do we tell us?
In that perspective, is if you also look on the other side, probably somebody who is doing worse than you. So, and I'll just use my hand.
Yeah.
And you can see I have 5 fingers, just like everybody else. But none of these that is equal to any other.
Yeah.
They have different sizes, and that is done purposely by God for a certain. Okay, it's done for a purpose. We are not equal, and we will never be equal.
Yeah.
We are not created to achieve the same assignment. I have a different line, you have a different line. So that's why you're talking of knowing who you are. If you know who you are, you will be firm in your stand. That nothing will just come along the way and just pushes you to that side. But because you know who you are, you know your place, you will have a firm stand. So just talk to us. There are baby steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after every step, please take an analysis. Am I still in the right direction? And if you can confirm for sure this is the path that I chose to move by, then you'll be confident. You'll not be shaken by somebody who is looking like they're doing well on their side. And you'll stick to that until there are some fruits there. Yeah.
And so, before we give our parting shot, I want to get to you, Miss Margaret. I said we are two different generations. There is something called Instagram. What most young people do today, they look for a place, they do good pics. So when you look at that picture, you think that he is in Dubai. Why? To give Isaac pressure, or to give somebody who is viewing that peak pressure. Have a word to them, for them, sorry.
What I would say is that whether practically he's in Dubai or not, that is his life or her life. And in fact, you should just celebrate him or her. And thank God for where you are. We will never, ever be equal. We will never be equal. So if you find somebody is living in UK or rather they are driving, they have 4 vehicles and you're still trying, don't worry. Just celebrate them. Because we are not equal. You never know where they have arrived, what it took them to be there.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe some inherited it, others got it, So just admire and keep to your lane.
There's a saying that is really trending that whether it's still or so long as it's not Illuminati, I have to be rich. Isaac, have you heard of it?
I've not heard of it.
Anyway, your parting shot for this show, Miss Margaret.
My parting shot is that know what you want in life and be focused and pursue it. When the challenges come, because they do, be strong and look for ways to go around them. And you finally arrive where you are going. Yes.
Mr. Isaac?
Yeah, be yourself. Know what you want in life. I always say this, I'll finish in this way. In life, for anything that you want to do, just find the purpose. Gather knowledge on that line. Cultivate discipline. Be a hard worker in that line. You'll never fail.
All right. Very interesting words there from Isaac and Miss Elizabeth, and they are saying that you should know your lane, as in run your lane, set your goals, do self-analysis, and the most important thing is that we will never be equal. All right, my name is Brian Moses and I'm standing in for Laban Mbidi, and this is the end of this show today. Bye bye.
How can a young person be consistent on a purpose. How can a young person...
You see a person doing or behaving a certain way, it is out of information. You dress like you think.
Yeah.
You talk like you think. Out of what is inside here, the fullness within here, that's what the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
So what you have in your head, you behave like that.
What do you understand by social media?
Yeah, social media, it's a platform. It's a connecting platform.
All right.
Just as the word goes, social media. It's a platform for mostly socializing. It's a media of exchanging information.
To be inspired, be ready to be transformed, be ready to get something great, something that is going to change you. Be ready to receive a word for you.
Good evening. My name is Brian Moses.